My beautiful wildflowers. Alexis here with Haute Modesty. Today, I created this look using this palette, Urban Decay's Naked Honey. If you're interested in how I got here, stay tuned. Beautiful wildflowers, welcome. And today we have a special eye look, and this is by request, and I'll be using the Urban Decay Honey Palette. Matter of fact, this is pretty new for me too. The request was either by this palette or Naked Heat, and this is Naked Honey, and Naked Heat is nice, but this is a little more difficult because look at the colors. Isn't it beautiful? I actually dressed for the occasion, trying to match the color a little bit. And so this is not exactly 100% in my comfort zone, but I think I can make it work. There's enough colors here that I would feel comfortable with. The only thing is, like the yellows, I don't really look good in yellows, and so it washes me out is what happens. So I will not be using too many yellows here, but there's plenty of golden tones because gold and dark color yellows are okay, like mustard, but this like bright yellow, I may have a problem with that, but let's see what we can put together. Okay, and also aside from this, I'm going to try out a couple of new products, and I just want to let you know what they are. I've never used them before. And the first one here is a makeup by Mario, or it's called By Mario, and it's exclusive to Sephora. And he's a makeup artist, and he came out with his own line just very recently. And from what I see, this is almost like a concealer, but a eye primer. But from what I understand, this is a little more waxier than the concealer. And there is a artist that I actually watch. His name is Robert Welch. And he will never put a concealer on his eyelids, and he actually tried this, and he said this is nothing like a concealer. This has a little bit more of a waxy feel to it. So let's see if it works out. And I think I'm between the two shades here. These are creams, and this is a powder here on top. So I think I may have to mix these two. I may be able to get away with this one, but let's see. But this one definitely is too dark by itself. And so I'm going to use that as a concealer. And a second thing I'm going to try today after I put the eye look is a brand new foundation. I love foundation. I have like 20 million of them. I'm always trying something new. But this is by The Ordinary Company. They call it the Abnormal Company, but they have the best, I mean the best skincare products by ingredients and by how it works. I mean, I can swear by this company, and so I'm really looking forward to this, and it's very inexpensive. This is under $12, I want to say. And so, and you can get this either through the Ordinary Company or also through Ulta or also Sephora. I think I got this one at Sephora at the same time I got the Mario palette. So let's give it a go, okay? So let's get started. First, I'm going to take my MAC 220 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and dip in and do my foundation or primer, okay? It is quite waxy. It does go on, you see? It's pretty waxy. Okay, let's see. Actually, it's not too bad. It's actually going on pretty smoothly. Actually, this is really good. Usually when I use, even with the Anastasia, the one that I've been swearing by lately, even with that one, it causes kind of like crepiness here in the corners. And I'm not getting that at all with this. I mean, it's minimal with the Anastasia one, but this one is like none at all. This is so far so good. I'm excited. And I'm just covering all of the parts that actually will be touched by the shadow, by the eyeshadow. Okay, next, what you're supposed to do typically is cover it with this powder, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I'm going to go in right away with a neutral color that I like to use all over. And this is kind of light, and so let me just use the concealer portion of it, but I will refrain from using this powder. And instead of starting in on a shadow right away, what I like to do is frame my eyes first. So what I will do is I will go in and do my eyebrows, and of course perfectly my brow. So same one. So I'll go ahead and do my brows. Okay. And now that I kind of touched on the higher part of my brows, I'm just going to retouch this. That's another reason why I like to actually do this first. As you can see, it'll help me or allow me to fix my boo-boos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. And also it will allow you to clean up, you know, all these places before you go in with the shadow. So you have like nice clean area. Okay. And next I will go ahead and grab my E70 Sigma. It's a medium angle shading brush. Looks like this. And you can use whatever brush that works for you. It doesn't have to be this specific brush. And sometimes, you know, some people use certain brushes that I can't seem to use. But this is what makes me feel comfortable. Just know that, you know, be flexible with it. And so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to do all over my eyebrows in a matte color here called Sweet. Okay, this one here, Sweet. Okay, so I'm just going to dip in. And this is where I start looking, you know, how much kick up do I get? Not too bad. Whoa, but that's a lot coming out of there though. And what I like to do is first I kind of like, since even though I'm doing it all over and it's matte, I like to just like dab it on. And so that way, I'm not dragging the actual primer all over my eyes and causing creases. So I just like to do that. And then once I get that in there, then I can go ahead and kind of sweep it out. Because now there's no longer that drag. And so I go in there really all over the eyes, because this is what's going to give me the foundation. This takes place of the powder that you saw and the actual palette in here. And so, and I like to, and that was too light, and this is a little bit more, as you notice, it's kind of like a skin tone, you know, closer to my skin tone. And this palette actually comes in different shades. This is for light to medium, and they do have the medium to dark, or I think it's called deep to dark maybe. So that's that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put in my transition color shade, and this one is called Hive right here. Okay, this is Hive, and so I'm going to go ahead and kind of use this one. I'm going in with the let's see, E33, and this is the detailed crease brush. And I like to use, you know, because I have very little space here, I want to make sure that I'm using a small as possible brush. So I want to go ahead and throw down the transition shade, and all I'm doing is going on my crease line here, and right underneath that bone, the orbital bone here, just stick your brush in there and just go back and forth. And don't be rough, just, you know, easy does it, especially if your brush is a little bit rougher. This one actually by Sigma is very soft, so just go back and forth like a windshield wiper. And depending on your skin tone, you may have to dip into the palette more than once, because right now, like my color is not that different from Hive. And so I dipped into it twice now, right? Just so making sure that I get a really good transition color here, more here. And what I'm doing is I'm just going here and spreading. I'm not going up here and doing this, because then I'm going to run out of lid space really fast. So just, you know, just easy does it this way. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. Just real easy. Just place it into the little gap there. And everybody has an orbital bone, right? So you should be able to find that orbital bone and just like work it back and forth. And of course, depending on your ethnicity, some people's orbital bone is a lot more pronounced or less pronounced, but everybody has them because that's where your eyeball goes in, okay? So just find that little groove and just work it back and forth. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. As you see, it's a nice diffuse look, and what you want to do is make it go a little bit above, so when you open your eyes you can still see it there, because that is your transition shade. Okay, and next and because of my hooded eyes, I mean, I have to really make a point of blending that out really well. And next what I'm gonna do is go in with the Precision Firm blending brush, which is E42 by Sigma. And the reason why I want to use this is because it's detailed and it's really, you see how small it is, and I need to get in there and just work the crease because of my hooded eyes. And so next, the color that we're going to work is Drip. And Drip is this one. Okay? And I guess, you know, all of these names have something to do with the honey, right? Dripping honey. So, okay. Just going to put this directly into the crease here, and I'm not going to sweep it up like I did with the other transition shade, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep it very close, and I'm going to have a little bit of a downward pressure instead of an upward, because I wanted to keep it away actually from my transition color, because I don't want this to overtake the transition color. So if you can see, you see how there's a dark there, but still that transition color is visible. So you want to go ahead and slowly and use as small as brush as possible and kind of really work the details of it, and try not to open your eyes completely, because look what happens when you open your eyes. You're going to touch with the brush the part that where your transition is. So try to keep your eyes slightly closed and just, you know, and going in a downward angle, so you're actually carving out your crease now and staying away from the transition. And we can always go in there with the transition color later and, you know, kind of enhance that. So no biggie. And now you're going to do the other side, the same thing. Just place it and downward instead of the upward. As you notice, and in a lot of these technique, if you ever notice, and if you watch these people, the artists in the YouTube or wherever, it's how you hold the brush and it's how you angle the brush. And that's, you know, that's where you have to really learn through doing and through practicing. And this is when you'll realize, oh, I get it. Okay, if I go this way, then the color will come here. If I go this way, the color will go there. And so it's just practice. It really is just practice. And like I don't know if you noticed, when I was doing the transition shade, I was holding it up a little higher this way, so that way I can touch the top. Now I don't want it to touch my transition color, just a little bit, so I'm coming in from a bottom up angle. You see? Like this. Okay, now take a look. You see the transition color here, the darker color here on a line, and then at the end of it, we'll blend it all to give it a soft blend, okay? And then so, but what I want to do now is take my E27 detailed blending brush by Sigma, and what I want to do is give it a little bit of depth on the end. And so in that case, I am going to use this very last shade here. It's called Sting, and it's dark. Okay, and you notice I'm using all matte colors right now, and then because I want to go in with a little bit of sparkle at the end, towards the front of my eyes instead of the back of my eyes. And so I'm going to take, you see this here? Okay, this is going to be going to the outside. Now just place it here and just work in. And you want to hold your brush loosely. You don't want to have a death grip on it. You poke your eyes out. So just work it like this. And then since I put the color on both sides, you can flip the brush again and just work in. And you notice I'm working in, not out, because you don't want to end up with all this darkness out here. Okay? So, and by the way, I'm noticing no fallout so far. So I could have probably done my makeup first. So next time I'll know. Okay, you see that? That smoky color. What we're going to do once I lay this down on both sides, we're going to work up to give it the smokiness, okay? but let's just get it evenly on both sides. Both sides means both side eyes. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Okay, so go ahead and work this out. And also another thing too, I have seen a couple of videos where people finish like the one complete eye and then go to the other eye to do that. You know, that's very hard to do actually. Humanly, it's hard to do because then you're working with symmetry issues, because you want to actually, as you go step by step, look at your symmetry. Like right now I'm looking here, okay, this is dark here, okay, I need to come in a little bit more here. Oh, wait a minute, it's a little dark there, so I need to come in here. So that way I can check my symmetry as I go. Whereas if you did completely your whole eye and you got to go in and do the other side, I mean, what are you comparing it to other than your finished product? So I mean, for me, I mean, people, if this is how you do it, it's okay. But for me, yeah, it's kind of crazy to do it like that. Okay, okay, you see the dark? You see the dark here, the dark here. Okay, but this one comes in a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to work that in. And patience, like I said in my other video. Patience, patience, patience. Actually, this video, I edit a lot of time out. Usually starts out as an hour, and when I edit all the extra garbage out of it, ends up being, you know, what is it, 20-something minutes, right? So, I mean, it's really, I mean, I'm trying to get to the important points, but I need to still blend everything out. So, make sure you're taking your time when you're doing your own makeup at home. Okay, don't think since I'm recording in 20 minutes, you could finish in 20 minutes. You might get to that point at one point, but if you're checking back and forth, you know, looking for perfection, am I perfect? It's going to take time, okay? So, okay, and another thing too, remember that's another thing that I learned from doing, is I have to remember which brush did I touch which colors with, because that way when I go back underneath later on, after I put my foundation and everything on, I need to know which color goes where. And like this one, okay, which one was this? Okay, this was my actually my detailer, and this was my bigger fluffy brush. So okay, at this point, do you see how that looks? And now what we want to do is blend some of it in for a smoky look. Okay, so what you do is you take this is why I like this angle brush. This is the one that I actually use to do the transition shade, right? So I like to actually take this one now and circle, and go up, 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 up. And this is the reason why you don't start at the top to begin with. This is not where you put your color. When you want to smoke it out, you push the color up that you already laid down. So work it, work it, work it. And now this side. And what I do is I take the angle like this, right? And I put the shorter side like towards the end, towards the tail. And I kind of put it in there and just kind of work it like that. And then move it up this way, then move it up this way. You notice how now it's starting to like kind of smoke, which means it's kind of going up, you see? And do it lightly, and don't hold your brush down here. A lot of people do this. Try to hold your brush as high as possible, comfortably possible. And when you're working with details, yeah, you got to be a little bit closer. But when you're really trying to just kind of smoke it out, just like relax, relax, relax. It's all good, man. Okay, now take a look. You see how it's smoked out now to the top, but what I want to do now is give it a little bit more color. So I'm going to go in with my transition color, which was Hive, right? Yeah, Hive, which is this one here. And I'm just going to tap it in here a little bit. And I'm just going to go this way now, opposite from what I showed you. Okay, just a little bit here. Just give it a little bit of color here, transition color. So that way we can blend it. And you know, it's pretty dark, it's pretty smoky if you notice, but what I want to do is go in with the same brush, the angle brush that I used the transition color, and I think I want to go ahead and go in with this bright color that I like. It's called Swarm. Yeah, Swarm, and it's the light one, the third one here. And let's see if we can pick up a really nice shade from there. Let's just go in and just go over this. Oh yeah, that's nice. Kind of gradually gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Okay, this is very nice actually. Okay, look at the color transition here. This is very nice how it gets a little bit yellow and light. And so what you can do is continue to just like work it until you get it to the smokiness that you like. Okay, so you just, you know, you can end it here or you can continue working with it. Okay, next what I want to do is kind of break up this darkness, right? It's pretty dark even though there's a nice transition up top. And of course I will go in with this at the end, and this color is called Flyby. But I want to give it some, you know, something golden, something shiny. So like I was saying, I don't look very good with the very yellow, but I think I'll go ahead and go with actually, instead of the color honey, and you can try, you know, I mean, your skin tone may work for you, but I'm going to go instead with this one here. It's golden, right? And so what I want to do is I'm going to try to go in with the brush, but you know, I'm always afraid to do that because it never works out for me when I use a brush. But let's see. Let's give it a try first. And then we'll start from there. And yeah, okay. It depends on how it picks up on the brush, right? So, okay, you see how it picked up? But that's me rubbing it in there. And so now what I need to do is I need to pat this on there. Yep, there it is. And you really have to just lay it down and probably do the rest with your finger. The reason why I say this is because you're going to get fallout. Because I started to get the fallout already. And you know what? This is actually... yeah, this is not bad actually. Let's go in with my finger, yeah? And I think I'm going to put this all over my eyelid because what I think I'm going to go in with at the end will be that really... the honey color that I don't want to go in with in the middle. So let's just try to diffuse this in here. Okay, I'm holding my finger up. I'm glad it wasn't the middle one I used because I got color on there. Okay, and let's see. Let's go with the golden on the other side. See, I should just go ahead and start with the finger because it looks like it's so much better than the brush. And you know, I never could understand why that is, but you know, it is what it is. But you know what? Have you ever seen those silicone brushes? I'm wondering if it would work the same as a finger. Maybe I'll get some and try it. Okay. And now I can go ahead, go in with this. But as you notice, these colors, look at the fallout. That's, you see the fallout under my eyes. That's okay. This is the reason why I don't have foundation on. Okay. And now that color is on, what I want to do is I really want to blend this out. I don't feel comfortable with it like that. So let's just blend this out. Okay, and there is a lot of fallout. I did clean up a little bit just so I can see what I'm doing, but this is what you have so far. And then next you want to go ahead and lighten up the inside. So I'm going to go in with HBIC, and I don't know what HBIC stands for, but yeah, HBIC is this one here. And we're going to go ahead and use the Sigma E30 pencil brush. Ta-da! Pencil brush. Okay. And then just dip in there lightly and always tap it off. That not tapping it off thing did not work. So, whoops. And I have it magnifying. I'm like, whoa, okay. So, I just need to go in and there we go. Inner eyes this way. Okay. Same thing with the other side. Okay, actually that's very nice. And finally, the last thing I want to do is I want to go in with my handy dandy, what is this? This is not Sigma, I can tell you. Oh, it's a Luxie brush, 211. It's concealer brush actually. I didn't know I had this, okay? So it was in there, so okay, here we go. And I'm gonna dip into this color here, which is, we said Flyby, yeah? Okay, and then go ahead and kind of dip it on both sides. Do, do, do. And then brush it off, and then I'm gonna go underneath the eyebrows and lighten it up. Wow, this is very nice because it is a dark color to begin with, and to really highlight under the brows is really nice. Okay, here's what we have so far. And so what I like to do next is, before I put on the bottom part, I like to go and put on my foundation. And so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. You know what? I am so in love with this foundation. Look at this coverage. Isn't it beautiful? The Ordinary, less than $10, I think, less than $12 at least. And look at this, and this is a full coverage. There's two different types. This is the full coverage one, and they also have a light coverage, kind of like sheer. But this one, I accidentally bought the full coverage one, but I'm glad I did, because look at this. It's like, makes your skin so flawless, but yet it lets your, you know, natural moles and things to come through for you know, the natural look. I'm really liking this. And wow, and I'm so used to paying like $30 to, you know, $75 on a foundation when I can get something for under $15. So check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Definitely worth it. And I have a feeling it's gripping my skin, so I can feel it. It's not going away anywhere soon. And what I did was I used a, you know, the beauty blender that I got in that one of those boxes that I showed you guys. I used this, and I just kind of dabbed it on. I don't use a brush. I like to use beauty blenders that way, because I don't want to move around my foundation, but I wanted to really settle it in my skin. So I did that. And then as far as, again, for powder, my SPF 45, the Super Goop, just under the eyes, a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my chin, pretty much like the T-zone areas. So that's what I did with that. And then, of course, my contour is Shade and Light by Kat Von D. And this one is Shadow Play and Ignite is the color that I use out of her palette. And then for blush, I just dab with a brush. And I use this peach color here. And then I accented with this here above. But I didn't like how shiny that got. So what I did was I went in afterwards with my Hourglass, the very light one here. I think this is the famous one that everybody loves. Incandescent Strobe Light is what it's called. And so this is what I used. I kind of went over it with a light brush and kind of sort of went like this, you know, type of thing. That's the look that you see. Now what I want to do is I want to finish off the eyes, because it is a little bit unfinished. I did actually put the mascara on there. Instead of putting false eyelashes on, I figure, you know what, I'm going to do simple, because I really like the simple look. And if you want to go out dancing, slap on some lashes. And if you want to go to work, leave it like this. And I mean, it's very versatile, this look, right? And so I used my handy dandy Bobbi Brown, my waterproof mascara. I trust this because it doesn't ever come off. So anyway, let's get it finished. Let's get it finished. So remember, I said remember what brush went where. And so this was the little bit more detailed, which was the darker color that we put on the crease where you see. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take this brush. I'm going to look in the mirror. Sorry about that. And kind of like run it underneath. And just kind of like meet it up top. Just work it, and just not all the way in, but like mid-eyes, and just kind of work it to meet the other side, like so. You see, kind of faint, and that's all I'm gonna do here. And just, you know, I'm not adding any more color. There's already stuff on the brush, and then just meet the corner. Okay, like so. You see the color, it's transferred a little bit of color there. And then what I want to do is I want to go in with the angle brush that I kind of used it all over, remember? Because at the end I use it to blend the dark and things like that. There's a little space there. No, okay, it's my imagination. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to sweep And again, meet this corner. And this is, I like it angled like this because that way I'm touching here and I'm going to meet it this way. And I'm going to deepen this a little bit. Like so. Yeah, deepen the color. And there's plenty of color on here, as you could tell. And if you don't want this much under the eyes, you don't have to. And what I'll do now at this point is I will go ahead and blend this out with the brush. I'm going to clean it on the, okay. And I'm going to kind of clean that up here, because I don't want that much. Oh, and by the way, I did forget to mention, I did put the concealer underneath. Again, dose of color. Wow, you know what? I would have never tried it if it didn't come in my box. And I'm glad it did, because that's all I'm using now. Now I feel sorry for my other concealers. They'll all be left alone. Okay. And if you don't want it this dark, you can also go back in and kind of, you know, kind of lighten it up a little bit. So this is quite dark. It's going around. It looks like I have black eye now. So let me just go ahead and fix that a little bit. And so anytime there's something like that happens, what you can do is grab your translucent powder. This one is Born This Way by Too Faced. And just dip your brush in there and just kind of go underneath and just kind of, you know, see? Easy peasy. Simple as that. And so now let me put on my lipstick and we will finish up the look. Okay, here I am. I thought I'd throw in a little bit of lipstick and give it a vampy look. I'm not usually in a vampy mood, but today I must be. So I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments or any kind of feedback, put them in the comments below. And if I added any value today, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And I want to say thank you for spending your time with me, especially my beautiful wildflowers. So until next time, don't sweat the small stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.